I recently shared with you my first denim dress, classic shirt dress with lots and lots of details, top stitching, lots of seams. And now in this episode, I'm using the same pattern, but I'm going to show you 7 ways to simplify to get the same-ish look. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and I'm here today to share with you 2 brand new makes that I've worked on over the weekend. It's been super fun sewing them up, putting the content together. It's going to be much more simple than the previous video I shared about the bluegrass shirt and shirt dress from Love Notions. If you don't know, this was a new pattern that was released last Friday. Gorgeous. I made my version out of denim. It's a classic shirt dress with all the classic features, collar stand, collar. It's got a bodice seam, princess seams, it's got pockets on the hips, princess seams on the back as well. Long sleeves with a cuff and a tower placket, some darts, lots and lots of details. I did top stitching, all the things. So nice. If you haven't seen that, check it out. And there's a lot of the sewing content in that video as well. And I promised I had a few that were in the works that I didn't get time to finish by the time the pattern release came around. And now I have finished them and I'm here to share. Now, what was exciting about these 2 was that I simplified a lot of the steps that I did for the shirt dress. I did all the details there. I was also doing a pattern test, so I had to sew up all the details. I couldn't really skip any of the details. But now that I'm just sewing these on my own, I'm sort of more free to do whatever I want. And I've sewn another shirt dress and a shirt. So I'm really excited to share. I've got a print, beautiful, and denim. I used the exact same fabric I used to make my denim shirt dress to make a shirt because I thought having a sleeveless shirt was going to be amazing. So those are the versions you're going to see today, both sleeveless. Remember that the bluegrass shirt and shirt dress is still on sale. The sale ends Thursday the 15th of May, 24% off. If you use my code that you'll see in the description box and at the top of the comment section, you get 10% extra off every single day when you buy a pattern. And it applies to this one as well. If you use my affiliate link, you don't pay anything extra. It just means that I receive a small commission back from the designer. It's one of the ways I make an income creating helpful content here on YouTube. I'm going to discuss my dress first so you can see what I've done. Now, this is a printed linen rayon blend, amazing, linen 55%, rayon 45%, nice and structured. I think structured fabrics are going to work the best for this design. You don't need anything to drape here. And it's also going to make sewing much easier. So one of the first changes I wanted to do was to remove that additional placket that you have to cut and interface separately. I wanted to convert the separate placket piece that's interfaced and sewn on and then flip to the inside, understitched and all of that. I wanted to convert it to a built-in placket, which just adds width to the center front. So that was something I definitely wanted to do, and to make the pattern changes there sort of permanent so that I can do that with all my following versions. When you have a built-in placket, from the outside it looks exactly the same. You're still going to have 1 row of top stitching going down. Only on the inside, instead of it being a seam, it's just a fold and you interface that section. And the change you make to the pattern piece is super, super, super easy. So let me show you that. This was the original pattern. I drew the seam allowance, which is 3/8. Then I have that inch that I added. And now this is the amount that I need to interface. 3.5 centimeters or 1 3/8 right there. So that is the section that I'm going to interface all the way down. And then that's going to be my placket, but it's just an extension of the center front. Basically, we're going to fold it in on this edge by 3/8 and then by 1 inch. And that's how we're going to get our placket right here on the wrong side. It's going to look the same. We're still going to have 1 row of top stitching here. And it will look exactly the same as if I'd sewn the placket separately, understitched it, and flipped it to the other side. This is just an easier way to do it. If you wanted to do the dress, there's a separate bodice up here and then comes the skirt. So I've done the exact same change here to the center front. I added my inch. I drew in the seam allowance this way from the edge of the original pattern. And this is the section that's going to be interfaced on the skirt piece as well to continue the same as it is in the bodice up here. So if I line these up like that, we're going to have the same width there interfaced on the bodice and the skirt. Loving the practical sewing content. Don't step out of this video, please, without tapping on that like button. It's super important for me here on YouTube that you let them know that this is the content that you're interested in. Helps me grow here, helps other people find what I do on this platform. Another way my dress is simplified is because it's sleeveless. Now, it just depends on your experience and how long it's going to take you to sew a long sleeve with the placket, the darts, and the cuffs. If that can take you a very, very long time, then going sleeveless might be easier. And I'm not trying to be cheeky here. I have nothing against the long sleeve and the placket. It's just that I'm a big fan of sleeveless. I live in hot climate. I'm in full-blown autumn, like full-blown autumn. I should be like very close to winter now, and it's still like short sleeve weather. It's still sleeveless weather in the daytime. So I was very interested in making a dress that was sleeveless. So for me, this is one way that I'm simplifying this pattern. I also have a super detailed video showing you how to bind, showing you how a narrower binding works best than doing it super wide. So I'll leave all that content for you there, but I think it's very simplified to do a sleeveless version if you like the style and it's hot and you just want free arms with the same details, gorgeous details of the blue dress, of the bluegrass. And plus it is an official option of the pattern. So it's not like I'm being naughty and doing a hack over here. If you're planning to make something sleeveless from the get-go, there is an extra step that you need to do at the very, 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 very beginning. Like you literally take it off your table where you cut, you go to the sewing machine, and it's the first thing you do. This is the center back piece, and I have already stay stitched the neckline right there. As you can see, there's a black thread. I've also done the same with the center fronts right here. This is what you would do. For the sleeveless version, I'm going to go the extra mile and stay stitch the armholes as well. Because we have princess seams, the armholes are divided in two. We have this section and then the princess seam section that comes over here. So I'm going to stay stitch these areas. On the center front piece, we have something similar, this little piece right there for both of them. And then we have the side pieces. And these are the areas that can stretch out the most because they're cut on a curve. So if you're fiddling with it and moving it around, trying it on, this could end up stretching a lot and then you can end up with gaping. That is not necessarily because of the drafting, but because of this curved section, the front hair area too, right here. So I'm going to stay stitch it all just to prevent, and then I'll be happier with this armhole once it's time to put the binding because we do that at the very last step. The third way I'm simplifying my shirt dress is I'm not doing the collar and collar stand. So it ends up being like a banded collar. Just very clean, very, very simple. Use the same pattern pieces. It can take such a shorter time to set in that into the neckline. I found that very, very simplified and way, way faster than doing the whole collar, flipping it, uniting it to the collar stand, and then sewing it onto the neckline. I also have a video on the channel showing you my favorite technique to achieve a beautiful, beautiful banded collar, and I think it's amazing. It gives it a little bit of a different look, and it's another option you can take using the same pattern pieces, not making any changes. Now, the other thing I'm doing is not sewing the patch pockets with the flaps, and I love doing that with my denim versions. I think if you're working with a solid, I think you should do those because you can actually see them, and I think they look really cool. But I'm working with a really busy tropical print here, so I didn't really see the point of sewing any pockets here on the chest. So pocket free, all good. There's pockets here below the waist seam on the dress. I did sew them with my denim version. I think they look really, really cool. You can see how they match the princess seams when you're working with a solid. But again, the same reason, I have a print. I'm not ever actually going to put anything in my pocket, so it's always been decorative. And I don't need that decorative feature on a print when no one's going to see it. So I'm going to get rid of that hip pocket. I'm going to show you how, just in case you don't know how to do that sort of thing. I'm very used to eliminating pockets on skirts and pants and everything because I do pockets sometimes, but most of the times I don't want them there because they don't really serve a purpose for me on a dress. This is the pocket entrance of the skirt, and I have done this with my denim version. I showed you how to sew that already. I've taken this pocket piece. This is the one that completes the hip area, and I'm just going to place it behind and align everything until it matches here on the waist, right here, and on the side. So they have the same shape. I've aligned the side seams here and the top, and that's how I'm going to tape it together. I've taped it together, and that has, in essence, eliminated the pocket. I'm just going to cut a skirt piece, and that's it, no pocket, easy peasy. So that was the fifth way of simplifying this dress. No hip pocket, saved me a bunch of time there. The sixth thing I'm not doing with this dress is any top stitching. at all. I'm just sewing and serging and pressing my seams, and they're all gorgeous and beautiful, and I'm not doing any top stitching. With my denim versions, I've done a lot of top stitching, which is an extra seam, an extra step that can take you a while longer. It can take you even longer if you're changing your thread. If you're top stitching with a contrasting color and you have to be changing your thread, if you're fortunate and you have 2 machines, then you don't have to do that. But at least I can't do that. I don't have 2 machines. So I have to actually take out the thread, put a new thread. It's annoying. So yeah, not top stitching, simplify this dress in a great deal. These are the pattern pieces for my simplified bluegrass dress. I'm not doing many details here because I have quite a busy print right here. So you wouldn't see patch pockets, hip pockets, things like that. So it's very simple. There's just 4 bodice pieces here, side back, center front, side front. I'm just doing a banded collar. Right here. So I'm missing the actual collar. I'm just going to use the stand piece. Skirt pieces. The back is on the fold. The front right here, and we have all this center front interface because I extended it, so it's going to be a simplified placket as well. I'm going to be doing this one sleeveless. I'm going to be using ready-made bias tape made out of satin. It's really nice and soft, so that's what I'm going to be using, and it's also going to save me a lot of time. Ta-da! Check out this tropical print. I've had this fabric for about 2 or 3 years probably. I've got an amazing fabric collection. You know, I see fabrics around. I love them. I know I'm always going to be drawn to prints like this. I don't think this print is especially, you know, out of style. I don't really care. I love the combination of colors here, the green, the black, and the white. It's got those leaves. It's a little bit tropical. It's so nice. Now here is my banded collar. You can see it's just the collar stand. I don't have the collar right here, and it was very, very, very simple to do. I have my placket that is just folded in. So it's not a separate seam there. It's folded in once by 3/8 and then by 1 inch, and all of that section was interfaced at the beginning. So that is super nice. Check out these little green buttons that I found in my stash. So lovely. They have a little bit of a silver outline there and then the green in the middle. I've got them 2 inches apart, the same as I did for my other shirt dress and my shirt. This is my satin bias tape that I bought many years ago in Bolivia. I have yardage, and this was one way that this was very simple for me because I didn't need to make any bias tape. And the rest is all the same seams. It's just that with this one, they're sort of hidden. So the princess seams, you can't see them well. The waist seam is sort of hidden in there. No one would have ever seen a pocket if I did a pocket, or right here, you know, no one would ever see them. So why would you do them? You know, you got to know when to invest time in details like that. And I invest all the time of details when I've got a solid. Like this Aria shirt that I'm wearing here. It's a grey denim. I've added tons of details, an extra yoke, a seam, a pleat, all the top stitching. You know, I know that everyone's going to see it because it's a fabric that's going to showcase it. If you have something like this, you can save you a beautiful time and not do those things. With all of these makes, I've serged the side seams first. You know, these are the only seams that are serged together, sewn and serged together. The princess seams like here. There are the dots. This is sewn and serged together. But for side seams, I always serge them before and then sew and press open. Same as for the shoulder seams, it's less bulky that way. There is the collar over here, the placket folded to the inside. So very nice. The dress is stunning. What can I say? I love how it turned out. It's amazing. And I'm so happy I made it. You're going to see it styled on its own and then with 2 little jackets. For now, all the tops are black because that's actually what goes here. I don't have any white topper. I don't have a white blazer or jacket or this color green. This is my second bluegrass dress that I've made. This is a pattern from Love Notions. This time I've made it in a print linen. The same size, the same fit, just simplified in a lot of ways because of the print. I did skip several of the details, although all the pattern pieces are the same, the main ones. I don't have the hip pockets here because you would never see them with this print. I don't have the chest pockets. I didn't do any top stitching. It's the same beautiful bodice waist right there that fits amazingly with the back dots on the skirt and the princess seams on the front. You can't see it from there, but I extended my button placket to be included in the center front pieces, so it's just folded in. Check out those beautiful green buttons. Love those. It's just an amazing dress. This was a dream print for me, really tropical, totally my style. Check out those gorgeous buttons. I can't believe I had those. And as you can see, I just saw the collar stand. I didn't sew the collar. It's like a collar band. I love it. This one is sleeveless. This is an official option of the pattern. I finished it with binding and you can see the fit is amazing. I love how it looks with this linen rayon blend. It's a softer type of feel compared to the version I made in denim, which is stiff still, even though I've washed it a few times. This is amazing. It's a dream dress. The tropical print is everything. These 3 colors are gorgeous. And I love that green. I think it's a color that suits my style and my coloring. So I'm very, very happy with this one. Took way less time to sew than my denim version because of all the details that are not here. But sometimes I think with prints, you need to keep it simple and just let the print shine and the beautiful fit shine here of the dress. All the princess seams front and back make it glorious. I love it. It was really fun to sew. It's the same size large with a standard bust. Same adjustments I made for the other version I made in denim. Here is the exact same dress with the same shoes, only because now I'm wearing a little blazer, I've added a little belt. I find it hard to wear a blazer without a belt if I'm wearing a dress. It just highlights the waist a little bit more. It just gives you a little bit more shape underneath something like a blazer. This is a cropped one. And I think it looks really beautiful. It still lets you see all the details of the dress underneath. And the black belt is very, very simple. It's a thin belt, so it's not uncomfortable at all. And I think it looks really pretty. If I need a light layer, this is an option. And I love it. Now, I don't have the collar here, and I think that's great. I think it makes the neckline a little less polluted here, and it's not competing with the neckline of the blazer, which has a collar and lapel. So I think this is perfect. Now I've swapped the beautiful heels for a more walkable heel. This is a more casual outfit for me. Block heels in leather. I can walk all day in these. No belt this time, a slouchy bag, and my sleeveless Metra blazer that goes with everything if I need a light layer on the top. So I can dress this down a little bit or dress it up, do whatever I want. I think the linen is amazing and this print is just to die for, at least in my eyes. I love how it turned out. Very satisfied with my fabric choice. I have many linen prints, but this one was calling me and I took on the challenge to make it in this one. I'm going to make a sleeveless bluegrass shirt. So this one's going to be a lot simplified than the shirt dress I made. You can see that because we have a shirt now, we have 4 pieces. With the dress, we had shorter bodice pieces and a separate skirt. So this is going to be a lot easier. Center front, side front. You've already seen that I have just extended the center front so I can just fold back. And that will be my button placket. That's why that center is interfaced right there. I'm just going to do 1 patch pocket on one side. So I have 1 pocket, 2 flaps there. Center back on the fold, side back on the fold. This is going to be the binding that I'm going to use to finish my sleeveless armholes. I made this using one of my husband's old shirts. Cotton, super nice and soft. I think it looks cute and it's going to be great with denim. Up there are the collar pieces, collar stand and the collar. The layers on the top are interfaced, the layers on the bottom are not. And here we have the yoke. Here is my shirt. It's the same fabric that you saw before with my shirt dress. I have actually quite a lot of yardage left. I want to make a pair of bottoms. I want to complete some sets. It's so nice. This time it's sleeveless. This is the binding that I used on the inside. I had made this one years ago from one of my husband's old shirts. You know, when the collars get really worn and the cuffs and things, I just tear them apart and I make a bunch of bias tape, or I use them to line pockets or inside yokes. I use them for so many things. And these cottons that they use for men's shirts are amazing. They're so soft and lightweight, perfect. So that's what I've used over here. It's all understitched. No one's ever going to see it from the outside. So I'm quite happy to use a contrast on the inside there. There is my collar and collar stand. That was all the same. Simple placket folded in and top stitched. So it's not a separate piece. This time I only did 1 pocket on the chest. This one does have the yoke, one of the yoke pieces. I sewed the regular yoke that has 1 point at the back. There's another one that has 3. It's a curvier yoke. Same technique. I have already shown how to sew this in my previous video about the bluegrass, and it's got that shape there on the front. Super pretty. Now, after I sewed this yoke and I filmed it and everything, I thought up a way to even simplify it more. If you have a really heavy fabric and you don't want to have 3 layers of fabric here like I have, you know, even though I have a very light cotton in there, my husband's shirt, you could do just a single layer, and instead of sewing all the edges and flipping it, you could just take these edges here, this one, that one, and the 2 points in the front, and just do a stay stitch, press it in by 3/8, and then overlay, and then top stitch. And then you still get clean edges, but you don't have the 2 layers. I thought about that after doing this yoke. So the next time I make a bluegrass, I'm definitely going to go that route, especially if I'm working with denim. I think I would have loved not having the layer of cotton in there because it can get pretty hot, you know. I did the top stitching. That's not simplified. In this case, I did do my hem by machine. For my dresses, I did it by hand. This is my third version of the bluegrass, only this time it's a shirt because it's an option as well. There's no bodice seam, nothing like that. It's just a shirt. So the princess seams are there, but it's just one seam. Slightly curved hem, same size large with a standard bust. My shirt is about 2 inches shorter than the pattern just because I wanted to wear it over A-line skirts and I think it looks more balanced. So that is just a personal preference. I really love the fit. It's really good. I mean, once I fitted the bodice, I didn't really need to fit the shirt again because what's important is the princess seam fit, which is above. I did the hem by machine this time and that was okay for the denim. It's really nice and I've got lots of buttons. There is my beautiful binding on the inside, cotton binding I made from one of my husband's shirts. I like the fit of the armhole, and remember you have princess seams for you to tweak it if you need to. I just have one patch pocket there on one side and you can see the feet of the princess seams. Now you can see underneath my hair I have a yoke, but I'll show you that in a little bit. Collar and collar stand, simplified placket that is just folded to the inside. There are the points of the yoke on the front and a single point at the back. There's another yoke that has more details, but I just kept it simple with this one. It was super easy to sew. In denim it's structured, so nothing was difficult with this make. And I love it paired with this lyric skirt. The lyric is a dress, but I've just used skirt pieces to make separate skirts from it. And this is a skirt in linen cut on the bias. I think it goes beautiful with the denim because there's a lot of blue tones in there. Really like this. This is a casual outfit with a pair of Allegro bottoms. This was a refashion from a pair of jeans I bought. Completely seam ripped them and made them again. I've got snake sneakers and a snake bag in leather. I think it's really nice, comfortable. I love that type of tan caramel color with the denim. It's really nice, really classic combination. And I think it looks really pretty with the shirt. Comfy elasticated waist on the pants. Very nice. If you haven't made the Allegros, you're missing out. I didn't have a denim shirt like this in my wardrobe, so this is the first one I have and I'm very, very happy. Here's another style of pant. These are the Lago cargos in red linen. This is a wider leg pant. That's exactly why I wanted my shirt a little shorter so that it looks better. I think if the shirt was longer, I wouldn't feel too comfortable with wider style pants. I think this is great. Of course, the denim is going to go with red. I think it's a classic combination and it looks really, really pretty. I'm so happy I bought a lot of yardage of this denim. I still have a lot left to make more things. And soon you'll see me in a denim set. Another type of bottom will go really well with this type of shirt. Here is a denim on denim look, although the skirt is not denim, it's a denim look cotton lycra, so it's fitted, but when you look up close it does look like it's a denim skirt. And I really like that there are different tones of denim, so love it like this. Another way I could be very casual but also feeling like I made a little bit of an effort going out. The red accessories, my favorites. Yeah, you probably know all my shoes by now. I have several red ones and I love grabbing them for everything. This is another option. I always knew I could wear open like a little jacket. I grabbed one of my comfy dresses in ITY. This is a very, very old dress. It's got a lot of print and colors in there in navy and pink. So this is a really nice summery outfit. I have a bunch of dresses that would go perfect with my bluegrass shirt underneath. Have navy prints in there. But this is the one I chose to show you that this could also be an option. So yeah, very versatile shirt. I'm so happy to have it. There's one more thing I wanted to mention about sleeveless. This has the armhole that you would use if you're going to sew on the sleeve. There's been no change here. At least for me, I don't have gaping or anything. How important stay stitching is, I can't say that enough. It's so important. But if you have any problems with a little bit of gaping right here, you have that princess seam. So for my dress, just to refine the fit, I took in the princess seam here by 1/4 inch, tiny amount, like here and there. And then the armhole ended up a little closer to the body. Not that it was gaping. If you see the difference, this one fits great. This one fits even better because I already had that princess seam to just take it in a smidge, 1/4 inch. Even less, I think. It was less than 1/4 inch, between an 1/8 and 1/4. And I think that turned out very well for me. So think about that. Don't get too stressed about the sleeveless armhole. You also have princess seams on the back that you can tweak a little bit if you want to customize your armhole, and you'll be happy. I love sewing these. I think the pattern is amazing. You have so many options. It can be super versatile. And you know, this is sort of designed to be a Western country type of style, but it doesn't really have to be. Still found the ways to make it work with styling. And I think it's amazing. Super nice.